guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. So, here's something completely new and different, and I wanted to announce it to you guys on YouTube first. I've been writing a book, and no, the book is not really about my life in general. It's not really, it doesn't really have anything to do with mowers and blowers, small engine stuff, you know? It's something that my friend and I have been talking about just for fun, you know what I mean? Ever since COVID started and I got into guns, right? The people I used to ridicule, you know, those prepper guys, the guys that dig a hole underneath the ground, whatever, and build a shelter, whatever, with food for 10 years, you know, and firearms and survival stuff. You know what I mean? I used to ridicule those guys because they would prep for like the nuclear holocaust or something, you know, which at the time you never thought it was going to happen, you know? And so while my friend Andy from Jericho, so Andy is Thai, and his name is actually Anuvat. You guys have maybe heard me slip in some of my videos when he's in it that I call him Anuvat. So it's, but you know, his other friends call him Andy for short, you know, but because he's like a brother to me, right? I call him Anuvat. But anyway, so we were just talking one day, and we just came about this idea, and all of a sudden a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, that would make an interesting book. It's an interesting story. It could become a screenplay. Some nut writer may pick it up and do a screenplay on it. Then it gets picked up for a movie. And honestly, when we were talking about it, Andy was like, I'd go watch that movie. And I'm like, yeah, me too, you know? So I just kept on going, writing the ideas down in my head, putting it in my iPhone, you know, notes, whatever. And I just jotted a storyline down, you know? I kept on going and going and going. And then as real life events was coming about, I won't give it away yet, but I've written 4 chapters already. It's rudimentary, you know what I mean? It's just ideas, jotting it down so I don't forget them, you know? But my idea is to eventually have it out there, and then some screenwriter or writer or producer or director or author or somebody like that, right, says, that's a splendid idea. I could totally see this being a movie, right? And because there hasn't been anything like it out there, you know what I mean? Kind of. So while I'm definitely not finished yet, I'm like probably a third of the way through the idea, you know, the story, right? I don't even really know how it ends yet. But it's interesting so far up to this point. And I feel like all this stuff that I've written down, the idea itself, it shouldn't be wasted. Even though I don't really foresee it amounting to anything, right? I thought it would be interesting to at least get it out there and let other people hear about it. I have sent the email to my family and some friends and stuff, and my son and daughter, whatever, and they would read it. And Andy's kids are very smart. You know, my kids are very smart too, you know, very scholastic. You know, they're like 105, 109 average in high school, you know, so they're going to go places, you know what I mean? And so they're very good writers as well. So I thought I would send the email to Andy's daughter, right? And Andy's daughter was visiting my son up in Washington recently for Thanksgiving. And then while she was in the terminal waiting for her flight to Washington from California, she was reading the 4 chapters that Andy had forwarded to her. And so she read it and then called back Andy and says, Uncle Henry wrote this? And she said it was very good. She was surprised that I wrote it, you know. So that's validation right there for me that I've got something going here. And, you know, she has no interest in the theme that I'm talking about either, you know. So if it's interesting to her, a regular person, you know what I mean, it'll be interesting to a nut like me and to a nut like you know what I mean? So during the time that I'm not going to be doing these videos, probably during the vacation that I'm going on to Canada, skiing with Andy and his family as well, you guys can watch chapter 1s through 4, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read what I have on my phone, right? And you guys know with my videos, I have visual effects and visual aids, right? That will give you the idea of what I'm thinking in this storyline. And I think it will be pretty clear to whomever's watching this. Now, my idea is this. I was gonna just print what I wrote down, right? Send it to a copywriter who will copyright it, date it, stamp it, whatever, make it official that on this date, Henry sent this screenplay to me, whatever, and that's it. So nobody can copy it. Like if they get a hold of the idea and says, like a movie maker gets a hold of the idea, right? A producer, and he says, oh, I'm going to steal this idea and make a movie and make millions, and I'll be shit out of luck, right? But then I thought, what about the new age of technology? You don't need to do all that, right? Think about this for just a second. I already have 11,000 subscribers on this channel, right? So that's an audience right there. Those 11,000 people, whether they watch the video or not, right? A good portion will watch it, right? Let's say at least 1,000 people will watch it. Maybe they, out of their friends, 11,000 people, let's say they know 4 people. I hope a person knows more than 4 people, you know what I mean? That 11,000 turns into 50,000 people, right? If you know more than that, it'll be 100,000. And you forward the video to that person. Hey, that person knows a writer. Hey, that writer knows a couple of screenwriters. But those screenwriters know a couple of movie producers, know some directors, know some authors who write books, right? Out of all that, somebody may think my idea is worth pursuing, right? And initially, Andy told me, oh, no. You have to just write it and send it out and hope that somebody picks it up. Well, as you guys know, man, people like that wait 10, 20, 30 years for their script to actually get picked up and read by somebody. It sits on a shelf or a desk for years and years and never gets found. So what I thought I would do is a lot easier and foolproof too. So think about this for a second. I do what I'm doing right now, right? I take my phone and I read chapters 1, 2, 3, 4 in 4 parts on 4 different episodes on my channel, right? YouTube timestamps when I uploaded that video, right? So let's say a year from now, some movie producer who is not an honest person steals my idea and decides to pitch it to a movie studio, and they make a movie out of it. And the next thing you know, 5 years from now, I see a preview on TV, this movie. I'm like, hey, that's my movie. You know what I mean? But if my idea is already documented on YouTube with a timestamp with 11,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 people that have already watched it, right? They'll say, hey, that's Henry's movie. You stole Henry's idea. There's my validation. You guys are my witnesses. You guys know that that guy stole it, right? Then I can sue them. You know what I mean? But look, when it's on video and YouTube and public, people aren't going to say, hey, did you see that guy's idea? That's great. Let's make a movie out of it. And then the guy will be like, well, you can't really steal it. He's like, why not? He goes, because it's on YouTube already. And so many people have watched it already. They know you stole it. It's like, yeah, you can't exactly steal an idea that's already on live on YouTube, right? So that's my idea. So starting Christmas Day, chapter 1 will be released. And it's gonna be me sitting here reading from my chapter, right? And while I'm reading it, narrating it, if you will, there'll be visual aids on what's in my brain, as I go through that chapter. And then following that will be chapter 2, chapter 3, and then chapter 4. I haven't written chapter 5 yet but it's in here, I just have to find time to do it. With my gun channel, my Mowers and Blowers channel, I can't find the time for it. You know what I mean? People take years, 10 years, 20 years maybe, to write a good book. I'm not saying that this is going to be a good book, but I think it's an interesting idea for a future movie. But anyway, I hope that any of you guys that are enjoying my channel through the past 4 years will take some time and relax. And while you're sitting on the couch with nothing to do, maybe watch it, try to follow along. And I look forward to your comments too. I would love to hear what you guys think. I know that there'll be a lot of you guys who will say, oh, you know, you should throw this in there, you should throw that in there. Please tell me more, because, you know, if you're going to make a movie out of the story, right, I need to fill in the blanks. So my idea was to just get like a screenwriter, a person who's experienced in writing the script. Like Henry says with a smirk, we should go and, you know what I mean? And then Andy says, you know, somebody that writes all that stuff down. The script itself for the movie. I guess I'm thinking movie before the book. Usually movies are made from a book first, but I'm thinking movie first, you know? But whatever. If somebody wants to write a book about it, more to you, you know what I mean? If somebody wants to make a short movie about it, actually, you know, this could go 2 hours easily, you know what I mean? Got a lot of ideas in my head. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining me on today's announcement that I'm writing a book or a movie. And hopefully you guys will watch chapters 1 through 4 starting on Christmas Day. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
So you boys from Arkansas, huh? Well,
hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.